Welcome everyone to the All F and Rest Show. It's Sunday. What a beautiful day it is. It's a wonderful day in your neighborhood. It's a wonderful day to be your neighbor. You know why? Because we're so effing cool. All right, enough with that. What do we got on the show today, EVP Joe?
That's right. Do not adjust your screens. It's not the JFB, but it's me. It's the EVP and your newest head news anchor. How are we doing? But today we got news, and then we got part 3 of The List. That's our main event. It's going to be a great time.
All right, buckle up. Let's go. Hit it.
From the E11 Worldwide Media Studios, located in parts unknown.
It's the All Effin' Wrestling Show.
With your hosts, Canada Dry, and the JFB. Tell me how it's priced. Tell me if the item is for sale. And tell me.
I messed up. I hit the Dynamite After Dark intro. So we had a little bit of intro. I'm, of course, the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada Dry Diamond. And a shout out to my good friend, Bad Take Kate. You know, guys, if you say Bad Take Kate 3 times, you know what happens? He shows up. Like, this is the legend of Bad Take Kate. It was like, no comment.
I don't see him in the chat yet, but he could be showing up any minute now.
All right, EVP Joe, introduce yourself.
You all know me. I'm the EVP of All Effin' Wrestling. Here just doing any and everything they need me to do. How are we all doing today?
And, of course, we got Shane L.Y. Showtime, Shane. How's it going, brother?
It's going great, guys. Can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be on a Sunday than with you two fine gentlemen.
Hell yeah.
Yes, and him and I are known as the Vancouver Connection. We're going to be meeting up at Collision when it comes to Vancouver.
When is that show?
That's like next month almost.
Yeah, May.
A couple months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's coming up before you know it.
Nice. It'll be here quick.
I'm betting Kyle O'Reilly's in the main event. You got to put him in the main event in Vancouver.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Especially if it's Collision too. Like Dynamite, maybe not, but Collision, why wouldn't they? Yeah.
So I guess without further ado, I guess we let's do a thing we call the news.
From the 4 corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB.
Okay, so got a couple news items to cover. First item we're going to talk about. This broke.
Wait, but before we get going here,
Okay.
so you're taking all these new titles, new names in the effing wrestling community. You're like one of the big wigs here.
Hey, I'm just here to help out and do what I can. I don't think of myself as a big wig, just a common man doing the best that he can.
He's just a common man.
That was not even intended.
You're the polka dot next week with the yellow and the polka
I
dot.
should do that. I should see. I might have something I could wear.
Yeah, that's your new thing, the common man.
Well, I guess I probably consider like the special teams of the like the filling guy, the guy on the bench, second string on the defense or offense, but special teams usually.
Well, you're the ace in the hole that we.
Also,
There we go.
you know what? He is sort of inherited the role that I got from Liam, being the third string goalie.
Yeah,
that always steps up whenever is needed.
yeah, and we always get guys here, and then he just saturated himself in everything, all effing wrestling, and
If we're gonna go with pitch, if we're gonna go since you're wearing the Blue Jay hats, relief pitcher,
there you go. Closer.
There we go.
Tom Hankey. Do you remember Tom Hankey?
Yeah, I remember that name.
Tom Hankey was the closer when the Blue Jays won back-to-back World Series in the 90s.
Oh,
Yeah,
93,
there you go.
93, 94?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was 90.
Was it 92, 93? Or
Yeah, I think
It was
92, 93. Yeah, I
was
think so.
I know it was either 92, 93, or maybe 91, 92. One of the two.
I remember Saturday Night Live had this big Canadian skit when we won. I don't know if it was the first one or the second one, but it was like a whole Canadian thing. We got your World Series trophy, and we might not be giving it back. But anyways, I digress. What's in the news today, EVP Joe?
So we've got a couple topics here. This first topic, it broke late last night, but El Hijo del Vikingo has vacated the AAA Mega Championship due to a knee injury that he suffered back in February. So his reign is officially over at 833 days.
And that's a crazy amount, right?
Yeah, well, like AAA is like, especially with the Mega Championship, is known for very long reigns. Like it's not like this isn't unusual for AAA to do. So I just want to send out best wishes to Vikingo. Hope he gets healthy soon. Come back better than ever.
What do you think they were saying?
I'm just wondering, did he at least defend the title more than 58 times in that time spree?
Actually, probably not, because AAA doesn't really do that. They have a precedent of long reigns with not so many defenses. So,
okay, so it's similar to like WWE then.
It was a Roman Reigns length defense.
Or Lesnar. Yeah, one of those two.
Yeah, AAA is kind of like the WWE of Mexico.
Okay. We ready for our next topic?
We have Salty Haney in
bring him on
backstage. We're gonna have our Salty Corner. Let's see what he has to say. Hello.
How are you guys?
What's up,
doing?
Haney?
I'm good. Yourself?
What is going on? It's time for our one of our favorite segments on the show. It's time for the Salty Corner. What kind of piece of information do you have for us today?
Well, you may or may not know this, but did you know that there is a current WWE superstar that designed the original Ring of Honor logo?
Yes, I remember hearing about this.
Now, who's that?
So you know the wrestler Wild that's inside the LWO at the moment.
Which one?
Wild. Jack Wood.
Joaquin Wilde.
Joaquin Wilde. Okay, he's down the pecking order.
So he won a. What do you mean he's running a pecking order? He's in the WWE. Come on, he's in the.
No, I mean in the LWO, he's in the lower pecking order.
He won a competition when he was 15 years old, and he designed the first Ring of Honor logo. And
Because he just took Bill Goldberg's tattoo and put ROH in front of it.
well, it's a little bit better than that. Let's be fair. That's a bit unfair. We don't have that sort of representation in wrestling. The wrestling sort of history. I think it's a cool. The annals of time. I think that's a cool sort of thing to have in your resume.
Yeah, for sure.
And what was it? Just as another sort of one that may shock people. Did you know that John Cena is neither a Grand Slam or Triple Crown champion?
Good.
Why? Why isn't he? Why isn't he considered at least a Triple Crown?
No, he's not got any of them. And
never
ironically, the
won.
Miz has both.
Well, why? He's been WWE and World Heavyweight Champion.
He's never won the IC title. He's never won the IC
But
title.
he's got the US title. Doesn't that should count for a Triple
No.
Yeah,
Crown?
but you're supposed to win both the IC and the US title, though.
Well,
As I
WWE does stupid rules for their Triple
Yeah.
Crown.
They
and
brought in
Grand
the U.S.
Slam.
title. They changed it.
Yeah.
No, but this is going on for years. Because don't forget when the European title first came in, Shawn Michaels was considered the first Grand Slam champion,
Yeah.
winning the IC, European, and the World title with the tag titles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's take it away from Shawn Michaels too, then.
Well, I think since then he's won a few.
Then Kurt Angle wasn't Kurt Angle number 2 Grand Slam, considered the second Grand Slam winner, because he originally went on the European IC title win, and then shortly after won the world title.
It was. I think one of the other wrestlers that's just obviously waiting on that is Big Sheamus. So
Yeah, he just needs the IC title.
yeah. Well, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, because from what I've been told and what the rumors are going is he's on his way to AEW, but we'll soon find out in the next few weeks.
Who's on his way to AEW?
I'll believe Sheamus in AEW when I see it.
Sheamus and Elijah could be headed to AEW soon. So
yeah, Elijah's a big rumor. Elijah's a big rumor that he's going right to Righteous.
It's not just a big rumor. Sheamus is a huge Sheamus. Well, there's a lot of. Let me just put it this way. Sheamus is good friends with Edge, Adam Copeland. Okay, Sheamus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sheamus was one of the ones that was there. I've been really good friends. Sheamus was one of the ones that was going up, helping. Edge prepare for what was his return to the WWE for the big Royal Rumble in 2020. He also he was also involved in Edge's last match, which was also in Toronto, which is where AEW is going to be pretty soon. So
dude, that match between Sheamus and Edge in Toronto was awesome.
Yeah, I know. What was it? It really was. It's a shame. What was it? Wherever Sheamus goes, he's a great worker, and he's going to be an asset to any locker room. I think
Sheamus is a hell of a wrestler, and he's a Bret Hart guy.
Can I throw something out real quick to get your guys' reaction to this? I just thought of. What if we get Sheamus, Adam Copeland, and Christian as the AEW's version of the NWO? Because TK loves his WCW history.
Yeah, I think,
or the Horsemen.
Well, WWE owns the Horseman trademark, I believe.
Well, they own the NWO trademark too, though.
Arn Anderson owns the trademark. The WWE don't own any of the Horseman stuff.
Oh no, it's Arn that owns it now, isn't it?
Yep.
Which is interesting that the AEW wasn't able to pull the trigger on that. I guess Arn Anderson wouldn't let them use it when he was with the company.
Yeah, it's possible. It might be just come down to that. I don't know.
Because it was rumored that the Pinnacle was going to be the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
I do sort of agree with you, Joe, that that there's, and I think I said this other week, there's going to be an NWO angle inside. What was it? EW, but I think it's with the Young Bucks.
You're probably right on that one.
I think that's what that killing the trademark business is.
So they're going to build up the elite as a brand new elite is what they're going to do.
Yeah, and I suspect what's going to happen then is MJF is going to come back and he's going to be part of with Adam Cole and things like that. They'll do some daft sort of thing to swerve it round. But that's where I think that was going. Was it
What
Sheamus?
else we got in the news, EVP Joe?
Okay, we got one more injury-related note. Those of you who are fans of New Japan, David Finlay has pulled out of the New Japan Cup due to an undisclosed injury. Like after his latest match, he went to the hospital. So another one of those. Just hope he gets well soon. Want to send well wishes. And what does everyone think of David Finlay? I know we don't really talk too much New Japan.
Before we go on with this, Momaka has put Alec on the list. But you know what? Momaka, I put you on the list.
You just say who's Bret Hart?
Yes, come on. Don't give me that bullshit.
That's a troll. That's a troll comment.
Oh my goodness.
Who is Momaka anyway? Who is Momaka?
Well, yeah, David Finlay. I think I might have, or maybe it was somebody else. I swear I read that they picked up some kind of immune disease or something like that.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So that's why he's hospitalized or whatever. But yeah, I hope the guy gets better soon. I've honestly fallen off kind of with New Japan in the last year or two. Besides when New Japan comes over to AEW or Impact, that's the only time I kind of So, but I
David
did kind of watch
Finlay,
part of
we
Wrestle
wish
Kingdom.
you- David Finlay, we wish you well. Get better soon. We'd love to see you back in the ring. You got anything to say on this, Alex?
Yeah, he's one of the guys that I think once he comes over to the States, he's going to make a huge impact. You know.
Yeah.
So you're saying he's going to Impact?
What was it called? No. I do think he'll eventually come over. You know, and that was it. I mean, I think he's getting close to 30 now, if he's not already. So. It's that sort of time to jump. And New Japan seems like a different place at the moment. It's sort of the sort of building blocks have been rebuilding. Reconstructing of the New Japan's going on at the moment? You know, so it'll be interesting to sort of see. And with AEW coming along, basically the pool of wrestlers that they can pull is a lot more limited now. You know. So
I think with New Japan, they're like a sports team that with their stars all got traded.
Yeah,
and they're left with with all these young kids and
you know who they're like the Florida Marlins. Like they just won the World Series and had a fire sale and got rid of everything.
or they're like a team that is missing the playoffs. But they got loads of stars on their team, and they're like, "Yeah, we got to trade them and
start over."
Yeah. From what I've been reading on sort of like Reddit and some of the other sort of communities, there is that sort of kickback at the moment in Japan around they feel like they're heading back to the 2000s. What happened with All Japan and New Japan with the relationships with the big companies, you know, they came along, they've basically just ripped their rosters apart, and they've got these partnerships that sort of eventually sort of fell apart because there was a push to get away from them, and I think that's coming soon as well in Japan. I know there was a huge backlash in Japan around the WWE sort of tie-in with All Japan, you know, because it's the North American style sort of drifts away from what Baba's sort of real style of wrestling was to be, you know, so. They're very traditional about what they like, so it'll be interesting to see in the next few years what happens, considering the landscape of New Japan, and a lot of the Joshies are about to be released, be contract free soon as well. Some big names coming available soon, so we'll probably see some of them jumping ship.
That's exciting. New Japan is you kind of like it sucks for what they've done, but it's also exciting to see what happens next. What do you got next on the news, EVP Joe?
Speaking of talent sharing, nice little segue. WWE is going to let people go be part of Josh Barnett's Bloodsport event, and Shayna Baszler is the first confirmed participant. Apparently, there is more coming. per
Yeah.
Sean Ross Sapp over at Fightful.
Could we see like just mean that AEW is not part of their like because they would add a lot of guys in there before? Does this mean they're no longer part of it?
I don't know, because usually Moxley's a pretty big part of Bloodsport.
Yeah.
See, Moxley was a big part of trying. I mean, Moxley promote. I think I said this before. Moxley and Regal are huge fans of it. You know, they've been going since the start. My my suspicion is, and this ties into what TKO's doing. I think, but was that sort of brand promotion. They promote sort of it's called Bloodsport for a reason, you know. I think WWE might be sort of looking at testing the waters, going into sort of that shoot work sort of environment that Pride had, because they've got UFC, they've got WWE tied in, and like I've said I think to you Aaron the other day, within the next 5 years there's going to be a UFC main event at WrestleMania. I guarantee it. That was as a match. So what was it? But we'll see what happens.
Will it be a shoot match or will it be a
no? But a match. I mean, that's what Pride was. Pride was all about a bit of both, you know. So it will happen, you know.
I'm just gonna say a lot of that could be compared to the Japanese scene. Like Bloodsport, yes, it is some kind of newer idea to the North American market over the last few years. But I think that type of thing's been going on in Japan for decades. So I agree with Haney. I could actually see the UFC fight actually being on a WrestleMania event one day.
Yeah, why not?
But-
At least as a tester, anyway. See how it does.
And honestly, it's not surprising Shayna Baszler would be the first one because she's got a connection to Josh Burnett for years. I believe they might have dated before Baszler came out, but I could be wrong there. But I know they've had a long time connection because I've heard Burnett even mention her on the road when he was on the guest on the Rogan show, and that episode's like, God, almost at least 6 years old or whatever. So.
I mean, what's more interesting is like this isn't the first time Josh Barnett has asked for WWE talent. Apparently, they tried to get Jessamine Duke a few years ago.
Which again, she's got a connection to those people have a connection with Barnett for years. In the
Yeah, it's all
MMA side.
the martial arts connection.
Yeah,
the MMA connection. Okay.
Who do you think the other guy could be?
Who else in WWE could do it? I don't know.
all I can say is Minoru.
Our truth shows up, does his comedy stick.
Oh, that would be hilarious. My
I
God.
hope Minoru Suzuki is on the card again. Like now, because he's not even officially contracted with New Japan anymore, so he's the free agent. It's free agent to come right now. So
Oscar might be a good pick if they're needing a woman.
Bobby Lashley. New what's a good person? Bobby Lashley.
You know who I would like to see go?
Bobby Lashley, yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Karrion Kross go. I think he'd be good in Bloodsport.
Let's move on to our next topic here.
Okay.
Keep it moving along.
Jim Ross announced on his Grilling with JR podcast that 2024 is more than likely his last year doing commentary.
Wow.
So that's pretty big news. Like he's literally like most of you, like the voice of my childhood in wrestling. So
yeah, JR, one of the all-time greats at this. I hope we still see him backstage role though. I'd like to see him doing interviews, sit-down interviews. Just keeping him around to keep him alive pretty much. Like he needs this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's face it though, that guy's been close to death numerous times. Since the 90s, he's had different health issues that could have been catastrophic and stuff like that. And then the multiple cancers and whatnot. Like it's
Bell's
honestly
palsy, skin cancer.
Yeah, even a stroke not too long ago or whatever. And then
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then also he had that bad wipeout on the motor or on a scooter or whatever, I think, or something like that. Or no, I might have been his wife. That's how his wife passed away. I'm sorry. No, so he's dealt with a lot of tragedy too. The last while. So I mean, think he needs to take it easy, but at the same time, you might be right too, Joe. Like wrestling is his life, so like it might kill him to be away from wrestling. Actually, even
Yeah,
though
I
he
think
might
having
need
him
it
a
rest
backstage
too.
role and having a sit down interviews, I think would be the best. Go ahead, Alex.
I think I think he. I mean, to be fair to Jim, I think he was talking about wrestling. You know, but was but was as he sort of goes on, he's Oklahoma born and bred, and I don't think he's going to step away from that football side of things. You know, because he doesn't need to travel for that. You know, I don't know how far is it from Oklahoma to Florida or wherever EW is. It must take a big toll on your body to be traveling at that age with all these sort of health issues. You know, so. You hate to see these. You hate to see your favourite sort of deteriorate, you know. And he's not been at his best for a good few years, you know.
Yeah.
What was it? It's just it's sad. What was it? What was it? He was such a great, amazing sort of. What was it? What was it? Commentator in wrestling, you know. So.
Is that it, or we have anything left?
I got one more topic we can talk
All right,
about.
perfect.
Kind of interesting. So apparently there's been a lot of people upset with the double standard of The Rock. Like, I guess WWE has their strict social media policy of like no cussing, no foul language, and The Rock gets to do it willy-nilly. So what do you guys think about that?
It's funny, like there is a kind of a hypocrisy at the same time because he's supposed to be a board member of the TKO brand too, stuff for that. So you would think I get it at the same time because you know to put this whole him heel persona. But yeah, that absolutely is a double standard. Because you know what, it'd be nice to see some of the other people like Kevin Owens used to have, but he was Kevin Steen. Yeah, used to have some pretty R-rated freaking promos, especially in his PWG and stuff like that.
Go
So
look up the Mount Rushmore
yeah,
one with him and Adam Cole and the Bucks.
in the backstage little hallway thing. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm referencing that. So it's like, yeah, like if Rock's got this freedom, why don't your top stars allowed to have the same freedom? But then again, then they go, where's the line then when if they see this little R-rated stuff?
Go ahead, Alex. What do you have to say on that?
You know, what was it, the difference between? I mean, what was it? What was it? The difference. I can see the hypocrisy in it, but I can also see from the flip side of it. Let's face it, The Rock is in the top 5. What was it? Social media influencers in the world. You know, he's. I mean, he's got more followers. So, what was it called? So, what was it? His posts make a bit of money, you know. But I get. I get the hypocrisy behind it, you know. Maybe that'll open up, you know. That the whole social media thing is another topic because obviously that's the reason why people like Saraya and that are inside EW, and you know. So what was it called? And going on what's happened, it seems a bit mild that Vince was pissed off that Mandy Rose was doing the OnlyFans, you know. But what was it? I can see it from both sides. I can understand from a wrestler standpoint that they might not want to like what was it the phrase Roman Reigns used? What was it was like a potato reference, like no adult would ever make. He referred to somebody as a what was it? I can't remember what it was, but something silly, you know. And then you've got The Rock coming out here calling people bitches and blah de blah. So I get it. He's using real language, while the wrestlers can't.
All right, we have the superstar Caleb Bain backstage. We're gonna bring him in. I just want to say quickly, just on this, I think The Rock getting a pass on this is a pathway for everyone to kind of get to do it. He's paving the way. If the TKO can do it, maybe he's gonna say, "See, it works with me. Why don't we let everyone to do it?" Let's bring in PCB, the superstar.
I just want to quickly say happy St. Patrick's Day, boys.
Yes, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Hey, superstar, how you doing?
I'm awesome.
So what do you think about The Rock being able to cut edgier promos versus everyone else, PCB?
The Rock crossed the line when he did to Tori Rose mom on Friday night on SmackDown. It's not top 4.
Oh, you don't think that? You think that the handing her the bloody belt that he's going to do, that he said he's going to do, you think that was a little too edgy?
Yeah, he did this tear as whooping on WrestleMania 40. So
Do you think it's good or bad that he's doing these kind of edgier promos?
I love the old Rock better than the new Rock because Roman Reigns brainwashed him doing this family business. Talking shit about Tori Rose and Stephanie Rollins.
So I'll give you a little bit of help here, PCB.
Okay.
I think The Rock is going to turn on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yes.
That's what I think. It's my prediction.
I love that Batista even.
So
Yeah.
since you brought that up, here's a little what I want to see happen. Like, I think the first night, Rock and Roman should win the tag match. Yes, and then
Because of Seth Rollins.
Well, sure, why not? I don't even care about that. But
Seth
then,
Rollins is going to turn on Cody.
dude, I think in the beginning of night 2, Seth loses his title, and then night 3, Seth comes out to screw Cody, but The Rock saves him. And
Did you say night 3?
at the end of night 2, sorry, the main event of night
We got
2.
night 3, we got night 4.
Might as well be. It feels like it sometimes.
All
I'm
right, let's
this.
your thoughts on this, Alex?
Can I just say one thing about Friday night? And I know a lot of people, like everybody online, saying it's like one of the greatest promos ever. That whole segment was absolute cringe. You know, was it the Rock looks? I mean, an actor. Why was he looking at his script on the teleprompter all the way through the bloody song? You know, it was just awful.
Yeah, I think he gets a pass only because he's The Rock. That's if anyone else did, I think he'd get a pass.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was. I mean, what were your opinions on it? Did you guys enjoy it? You know, or did you
I
think
thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. I didn't mind it.
I haven't really enjoyed a Rock promo since he's been this new heel persona. I feel he's been really lazy in his promos, honestly.
Yeah,
Makes
I
sense.
think he's really been reaching. That's what it seems like, especially the stuff with Cody Rhodes and stuff like that. Like it just seems like he's been really reaching. Or
I'm surprised they haven't reached in. I mean, I suppose now that he's got his trademarks, they won't want to sort of lose that people's champ trademark. But I'm surprised they haven't pushed more on that and storyline wise with Cody. You know, because he is the people's champ now. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it seems like a missed sort of opportunity. This whole like Cody Crybabies thing. You know, it's very. It was
Juvenile.
It's very what?
Juvenile.
Yeah, yeah. You know, a grown man wouldn't call. I mean, it was you wouldn't call a grown man a crybaby. You call him a bitch. You know.
Yeah. All right, Alex and PCB. We're gonna get the main event. Alex, if you want to call back in during the main event, feel free.
I will do it.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
Talk to you later.
Bye. All right, that means it's time. It's time for the main event of the evening.
Gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
All right, everyone. If you've never watched this segment before that we do, you just made the list. Of course, we need our where is it? I'm looking. Oh, do we not have it anymore? Oh, there we go. Here it is.
You know what? You just made the list. Oh no. Oh, here we go. You know what?
We used to do this in chat a lot, where I would put someone on the list,
And then I would be like, "Oh no!"
You know,
it
what's
was
funny?
classic.
Back in the day, for a gimmick for a different show I used to be a part of, I used to actually have a metal clipboard I called Sheena Y's list, or the list of Sheena Y. It was beautiful. Yeah, literally, I got the 6 pages worth. I got the 6 pages worth of names. Well, I started repeating names after a while and stuff. But
Yeah, the list is probably one of the better gimmicks in wrestling history.
Yes.
He would tap the pen. The crowd would just go, just tapping the pen.
Dude, it's
Like-
a Pavlovian response. Like, he had them conditioned so
Oh,
well
yeah.
for that.
he did. He did.
And so we're gonna go. With some things. We're gonna do 4 each, and
For
then one
wrestling
pop
related
culture.
things.
Yes, you can put your pop culture anywhere. So don't feel free. You can throw it out there. I'm gonna start with Shayna White. Can you keep track of these, Joe?
Sure.
All right. So, what is on your list first?
You know what? Might as well get the pop culture out of the way first.
Okay.
Electric cars and the whole shenanigans behind electric cars right now. Oh, it's starting
really?
to piss, especially this whole green thing. Well, the fact is, there's a lot of places, especially ritual areas, where, well, you expect these people to plug in, especially when they live in sub-zero temperatures all the time.
Yep.
Not too long. Actually, even earlier this year, man. Like anytime there's a winter snowstorm, those things break down, stuck in the side of the road, and the fact of what it takes to make electric cars, that also is an environmental impact. Besides the fact that some of the lithium mines kind of tied into the slave trade route, so it's like, I'm not saying we don't need something better than fossil fuels. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, electric cars is not the way to go, especially some areas. It actually is more environmental impact than it is being environmental friendly.
And the electric cars aren't at their ultimate yet. Like they're not perfected yet.
No,
Like, it's crazy because like here in the States, they have like places like California who are like, we're going to be 100% carbon neutral, only electric vehicles by like 2050. But they have rolling blackouts in their state in the peak summer.
How are they going to pull that off?
They told you not to charge your vehicles too, not too long ago, and actually that happened to Calgary too. Like, could you please not charge?
We don't have the infrastructure, the power grid at the moment to do this. Then why are we doing it?
Yeah.
Well, the numbers can always change. We're like, well, maybe it's 10 years from now. I want you to change it. It's just
what is pretty cool is I think in Detroit they're running a test of like a mile-long strip of highway where if you drive your EV cars over, it'll charge your vehicle for you.
I'd see something like F1 already has the technology as it is, where they have like an energy charge system where, like, I don't get why they don't install that in battery electric cars, so they don't need to go to the. But then that's, you know what? There's a whole probably money-making scheme going behind that.
Sure,
yeah. So
of course.
Yeah. What's funny is Alberta, the only place in Canada, they're punishing people for getting electric cars. You got to pay extra. Everywhere else is giving them a tax break.
And the fact is, too, if you got to replace a battery, not only like where do you dispose those things?
Yeah.
And not only that, like just the fact that like it's almost as much as the new car itself. So that stuff's going to waste.
Like $10,000 or something like that.
Some of them could be 20 plus. And so it's like, okay, so then, yeah, it's just insane right there. And what do you do?
Right, so electric batteries. Electric cars. You just made the list.
You just made the list. Oh no! Here we go.
Let's go with hydrogen, possibly. There we go.
All right, EVP Joe. What's on your list? What pisses you off? Who's getting the wrath of the evil vice president?
It's funny that he mentions electric vehicles because my pop culture is going.
Oh, you're going with pop culture early.
Yeah. I'm just going to throw Democrats and Republicans on the list. Like, I can't stand it. These two sides bicker and fight so much they won't let anyone get a win. It's just here. Take that, Ron. Go ahead, go. Like, they're so ensconced on it's got to be my way or the highway. Like, they've literally forgotten what is the purpose of government, which is to serve the people, not themselves.
That's a perfect one, man.
Yeah. The two-party system in America. They need to fix that because,
You
like,
know what?
I mean,
We're not much better if our three-party system ain't much
it's
better
not
because
much
two
different.
sides get to
Not
get.
much different because
Yeah.
really it's a two-party system because NDP never gets anywhere.
And they side with the liberals all the time anyways. So I agree with you. It's just insanity because even both countries back in the day, it used to be these officials used to be friends with the people on the other side. It used to be about, hey, let's maybe try to find a common ground.
Right.
Bring it like kind of like a libertarianism, which now it's just these days it's too much tribalism when it comes to politics and
Well,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
politicians like that. They're more extreme now on each side.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah,
And then you got more extreme fanatics these days following both sides. It's on their way or the highway.
Like, that's the problem too. Like, it's
Yeah.
always the extremist on each party that get the most publicity and coverage from Fox and CNN.
And it never used to be like that. Back in the night, it started changing. Say maybe towards the late '90s, early 2000s. That's when it started just going like that. Oh, I shouldn't do that. But I gotta watch out.
Honestly, it's when social media really took hold.
Yeah, and not the MySpace days either.
Yeah, you got a guy named Joseph H. Gary. You know, you guys have been going back and forth.
That's what I think of Joseph H. Gary. He could really take it.
Joseph H. Gary getting the finger from Showtime.
He could snip me where the sun don't shine.
Oh, wow.
Ironically enough, where most of his inside sources come from, I do believe.
Where the sun doesn't shine.
All right, Canada Dry, what's your first item on the list?
I love how you did that, so I didn't have to.
Yeah,
perfect. Nice setup. So my first item on the list, I can't believe I'm doing this. Chris Jericho. You just made the list.
He's fallen victim to his own creation.
You just made the list.
Here he is.
Here we go.
Yeah, Chris Jericho. You made the list for one reason. You've saturated yourself on TV way too much. Chris Jericho in WWE, he took breaks and he was able to he's reinvented himself 15 times in AEW alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like we
no
don't
breaks.
We don't need to see another version of Jericho. We just need to see you go away for a while so we can appreciate you again.
I think the thing was, though, WWE was kind of making some points, besides the touring with Fozzy, it's just they were kind of making take those breaks. They're like, we got nothing for you right now.
Well, no,
And
usually it was
near the end, because
breaks.
remember, he was trying to get back. When he was trying to work an angle with him versus Seth Rollins when they were both intercontinental champions, because Chris was still a free agent then. And Vince didn't even return the call, but even before he even started doing those New Japan things, they were looking for, like, they didn't re-sign him for anything, not even for a short term. So
I can see Chris Jericho going back to WWE for a short 1-year contract and calling it a day on his career.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Like Chris Jericho, if he went back to WWE, he would reinvigorate his career and just shortly. You know, I don't think he has much long left at his age. So
yeah, he doesn't. I don't think you know what? Maybe when he's quote unquote retired, one match for Mania or something, just like all the other old washed up has-beens. Oh, I should.
all right, What do you got on your list, Shane Ly?
Okay. One of the ones right now I want to talk about is Dixie Carter's when she let her acts of desperation when they were working out the Spike TV deal and getting people like Hogan and Bischoff involved. Once that got all involved, it just kind of like they lost all power, and those guys kind of almost ruined Impact at that point. I mean, yeah, they did bring a lot to the table in some regards, but at the same time, it just regurgitated the same old crap of almost WCW like freaking ass storylines. And I thought the freaking Hogan bringing Brooke out with Bully Ray too was kind of the most. I mean, some people love that story. I thought it was the most ridiculous storyline of all times, and probably one of Impact's worst storylines possible. At the same time, Aces and Eight was a great faction. So, yeah.
Okay, real quick before we go.
Hold on, before you do that, I got to do this. Dixie Carter.
You know what? You just made the list. Oh, no. Oh, here we go. You know what?
I got to remember to turn that off right away.
So now I'm drawing a blank to her name. But what's worse? Is the Hogan and the Brooke and the Bully Ray part of the story worse? Or the AJ Styles where he allegedly had an affair with what? I forget the name of the lady.
I know you're talking. I know that storyline. That's probably 1A and 1B. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that Aces and Eights was competing with Nexus at the time.
Pretty well, yeah.
The Nexus storyline that could have been like gigantic that they
Aces and Eights could have been good, but they botched the ending of it so bad. They rushed to reveal members.
And then eventually, once Bully Ray officially started wearing the colors, the conflict between him and Anderson kind of just ruined it all too.
Tiffany says, I'd like to see Jericho have one last run in WWE.
I think we'll get one.
I honestly think maybe I honestly think maybe a match. But I don't think he's gonna get a run. Ooh.
All right. Let's move on. Joe, what's your next item on the list?
My next item is, and I've said this before, and you know what? Because it was big around the time the last time we did the list, I'm going to say it again. WWE dropping the ball with LA Knight again. It boggles. Everyone wanted to see this man win the U.S. title. And look, I love AJ Styles, one of the best of all time. But a singles match for LA Knight at WrestleMania against AJ Styles just, to me, isn't as good as he should be leaving WrestleMania as the U.S. champion, in my opinion. Like, this is just another example of Triple H not being able to strike when the iron is hot, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I don't know about that. If I agree with that, because he's got a pretty good match at WrestleMania. A feud with AJ Styles, that's pretty good. What are you going to do with him other than, like, is he as big as Drew McIntyre right now? No. Is he as big as Cody Rhodes? No. So
there's a reason why they're in the world title pictures and not the undercard title pictures.
Yeah.
I would have put LA Knight actually against Gunther. That's what I would have done.
That would have been pretty good.
I would have put him to be the one to take the title off Gunther.
I would have been bad, but the problem was it got him on the other brand right now, so I kind of screwed that all up.
Yeah, so
since when did WWE care about brands?
Yeah, they kind of found a way to get it going. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with this. Like that not the world title, but he's not quite at the level he needs to be. He could have been up there with Cody by now. Close.
Well,
not as high.
It should have. I agree. It should have been a U.S. title match for him in the WrestleMania this year. That's what it should have been, and included AJ. They should have maybe did the LA Knight, AJ Styles match on SmackDown, which would have led to them trying to go for the U.S. title at Mania. But That's just me.
All right, I think we've exhausted this one.
So, Canada Dry, what's your second item on the list?
My second thing that makes the list, it's something in wrestling that just has always picked my butt. It is when tag team, the guy's pinning him, 1, 2, and before he gets 3, the tag team member jumps in and hits him and breaks the count. It should still count 3 because why does that break a count? That makes absolutely no sense logically. They should be pulling him off or pushing him off.
I agree. You are 100% right.
Like they've been doing this for years, and it's so freaking lazy and dumb.
Or you can always pull a hangman and just beat up other referees.
Yeah, as long as you stop the count, you can stop the count any other way, just not by hitting the opponent.
No, I fully agree too because it's stupid. Because if you're when they count guys out when they're doing a submission to someone, but the shoulders are counted, they still count the 3 because he's on the mat. Like I don't get how the logic changes there, and they do the same logic too when it's a fatal triple threat match or a fatal 4-way match. Oh, all you got to do is slap the guy. It's like, well, no, but is still pinned on top of the other guy. The other guy's shoulders are still on the mat.
Somehow it affects the referees. Like, oh no, he's been hit. I can't finish the count.
Yeah, I think so. But yet, it makes it's absolutely stupid. It is lazy. It should actually be a full because it also makes when somebody does the full jump in, it makes like a shoulder tackle, knocking the guy off. It lessens those dramatic effects because the fact is, all I got to do is do that, and the rest stop in the count.
Shane, you made the list for flipping my friend off.
Well, you know what? There's that too. Hey, even though I've never been in Japan, I'm big in Japan. That's all I could say.
Natalia Markova enemies make the list. Who's enemies of Natalia Markova? Like, who are these people?
Camille.
Yes. Your thoughts on this, Joe?
I mean, yeah, like this is a good thing. Like I hate it too. Like when they just go over and just barely touch someone and the ref is like, no. But you know what I think is a bigger pet peeve of mine with pins? I'm going to piggyback off you a little bit. Is like when someone is pinning, like in a tag match, someone's pinning them and they look up and they see the tag partner coming to break the pin and they don't move out of the way. Like when someone goes to like do a splash on them or something, like move out of the way so they hit your partner. Like that kind of logic is sorely missed.
Alex, you got thoughts on this? Oh, he's muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I pretty much agree with it. Was it the whole scenario around sort of what was it? That is just what was it? An art form that's sort of lost. You know, it adds to the drama.
I remember a big event, a WWF event in the 80s, where Captain Lou Albano was pinning someone, and they still counted 3 after he was hit, which was the only time I've ever seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that event?
I'm trying to remember if I remember that.
Yeah, the big event. Well, Captain Lou Albano was, I think he was teaming with the Machines versus Bobby Heenan and someone on his team.
You know what? It's a lost art form, just like the tag rope itself. That's a lost art form these days, it appears.
So I'm just gonna hit this thing. I'm just gonna hit this to officially put that wrestling thing on the list.
You just made the list. Oh no! Oh, here we go. You know what?
All right, EVP Joe, what do you got for your list?
Let's see. My next item for the list is, so full disclaimer, I tried to pick out one thing for WWE, AEW, and Impact.
This is number 3, right?
Yes, this is my third item. My thing that's going on the list is AEW not having the Blackpool Combat Club in this tag team tournament. They just beat FTR the 2 weeks ago.
That makes absolutely no sense. Why are they not in the tournament?
I don't know. So for that, Tony Khan, AEW, you can be put on the list.
What? You just made the
Yeah.
list. Oh no. Oh, here we go.
Oh, I never heard the last part. Oh, here we go.
Anyone's thoughts on this?
It makes absolutely no sense too, especially when they just did the run with FTR and are kind of getting put over on FTR too at the same time. Like how are they not either Moxon, Cesaro? I guess like it makes no freaking sense at all. I know right now Mita is out with an injury. I guess you guys mentioned it last night or something like that, or on the other. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I was always thought that, you know, if you're gonna beat FTR, have it be for a reason. You're going on a run,
and it's not like Cesaro and Moxley are in single programs right now anyway. So it's not like they're open to do this unless they could be a wild card. We don't know. Maybe they're the wild card.
No, the other wild card's already been announced.
Oh, are they? Okay, I missed that.
That's the thing.
Even at the LOD shit. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, that's the thing that's totally stupid about this tournament. They've got these 2 wild cards. Why not just find 2 other tag teams and just put them into the bracket? You know,
I agree with you, Alex.
It doesn't make
100%.
Ayaka put something interesting on the list. No blood in WWE.
Well, there goes mine. No, I'm kidding.
All right, Alex. What's on your list?
Oh, where do I start? Yeah, so I'm going. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was going to put Tony Khan on the list as well, but since Joe's already done it, I can't really do it. So
yeah, I can't put him on the list twice.
Yeah, I suppose you could, you know. But was it? Yeah. Can I put EW on the list then?
You put what you want on the list.
No, I'm being serious with this. But was it? I am going to put on the list Booker T.
Booker T. Oh my goodness! Before you continue, Booker T.
You know what? You just made the list. Oh no! Oh, here we go.
Tell us why Booker T's on the list.
Where do I start? There's a number of reasons why Booker T was on that list.
Your cat just went to heaven. It looked like.
I know. That was awesome.
Yeah,
she wanted to go sunbathe.
Does he not think about the words he says online? You know, when he's saying it
on his podcast.
On his podcast, I mean, there's been loads of them, you know. But I mean, the most recent one is the CM Punk thing. It was all he was doing. He was clickbaiting his audience to come and listen, and he never actually said anything, you know. And then it's like, it wasn't really a run, and it was just a sort of it could have been sort of thing. It's like, yeah, stop being a shit stirrer, you know.
I feel Road Dogg does this too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
What was it? You know, and these guys are pretty venomous. You know, what was it when it comes to things like that, because they've got an audience and they've got a sort of legacy. So people actually do listen to them and they believe what they're sort of saying. You know, so it's a sort of difficult one. What was it? And his commentating is just god awful. I mean, what are WWE thinking? You know, you know, it would be better if they just put a running tap on the commentary, so or just put somebody on it speaks a different language. Like, you know, what was it? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and it's awful. I hate the pre-show stuff as well when he's talking about the shaky quack nonsense and things like that.
Yeah. Showtime Shane, What do you think of Booker T being on the list?
You know what? After his most recent, like, why would you even mention the stuff about I had backstage heat? Was there got an incident with CM Punk the other day? Unless it's a work, it could be possibly a work at the same time. There is that, but I'm like, it's just he just repeatedly says stupid shit on his podcast and just keeps continually putting his foot in his mouth, and it's just he is obnoxious. I used to not hate the guy back in the day, but now it's just gotten obnoxious the last few years. That's my personal opinion.
Your humble opinion.
No, I'm not. Dude,
You almost did it. I almost got you to be like your friend Joseph Gary.
He also deserves a finger today.
All right, what do you think of Booker T, Joe?
I think this is a great pick. Like, if Shane said, if it is a work, okay, but then there needs to be a payoff to it, and I don't see one coming for that anytime soon. Like,
No.
he's slowly morphing from into the shock jock, just saying things to get reactions.
Yeah.
And it's sad. Like, it's so sad what he's becoming.
All right, I'm going to get an update from you in a moment for everything on the list. But we got Showtime with his thing on the list.
Your third item.
On my third? You know what? I just changed one on the fly. Originally, I was going to mention the Bob Backlund after they dropped the title of the L show. No, because you know what?
Crossing that off the list.
Tony Khan, the way he's running ROH, it's now starting to become like WWE with ECW 2.0 before it went to NXT. And it's, you know what? It's just too much. They need to separate the shows more. WWE does a better job separating NXT from Raw and SmackDown, unless it involves either a small storyline or one kind of rare call-up for one night and stuff for that.
You can't put Tony Khan on the list, but you can put Ring
No,
of Honor.
I'm putting the ROH, like current ROH, because the ROH brand, the old school brand, was great. It had, especially like when they first started up, and then right before the whole COVID stuff hit, like they were at a good peak when they had like a lot of the New Japan tie-ins and stuff for that. Those
War of the Worlds tours were great.
War of the Worlds tour, those were freaking awesome. Besides the fact the Final Battle events went on at WrestleMania were huge pay-per-views. Now it's like I don't give a rat's ass. If they would separate the brands a lot better and start building up the young stars or having certain people separated from AEW, Final Battles would mean more come WrestleMania weekend. But it doesn't mean shit to me coming this week or when it happens this year.
Really quickly, 30 seconds. Your thoughts on ROH being on the list?
The current ROH. That's the best way to put it.
I mean, it's hard to dispute it. I mean, I would love to see more be done with ROH. I love ROH from 2012 to 2016. Like, it was some of the best wrestling in the world.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say this is a bad pick.
Even before that, I mean, ROH from the start was just a different sort of breed of wrestling in North America. It was phenomenal, and the names that have come out of ROH are just absolutely amazing. You know, it's a name only. I agree with the ECW analogy. It's a name only. It doesn't represent what Ring of Honor was about. You know, so it's if I was Tony Khan, and maybe that's what the plan is because Bryan Danielson's due to retire in September. Was it give him? If they're going to throw money at something, give him 10 million, buy a building, and put ROH in there. You know, and build up the development. That's what I would do. You know, and give them on YouTube. Dark is so massively missed. It was such a great concept. The fact, I would prefer Dark over Collision, you know, because it was you've seen all this amazing talent from around the world. Now in Collision, it's just another Dynamite, you know. So it's nothing special. Probably even worse. So yeah.
All right. I got my so
Third
really quickly.
You know what?
ROH.
You just made the list. Oh no. Oh, here we go.
All right. I got mine. It's my pop culture. So I think this brings us all to three.
Yes.
So my pop culture one, and I'm just so sick of this in Hollywood. You take an old TV show, you take an old movie, and you just rehash it. So over this. Like the latest one was Frasier, redoing Frasier with a whole bunch of new people. It's like, it's not Frasier. It's a new show with Frasier in it. So none of the returning cast. It's dumb.
Yeah, those reboots are dumb. But there's one reboot I do like because it's original. Is right now Beavis and Butthead. They made their way on Paramount Plus. There's been a brand new season and a brand new movie, but it's only because Mike Judge is the creator. So
yeah, like you're taking something and you're not. Like if you're doing animation, it's a little easier.
James Silent Bob, yeah, that's it. Like that gotten gross, old, and they even made a mockery calling their last movie the reboot, and that was just a freaking joke to be going. Now I've actually lost respect for Kevin Smith because that movie was so freaking bad. So yeah, I fully love your the reboots and remakes, trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haney, what do you think of reboots in Hollywood?
Yeah, it's lazy, and what was it? And it's just horrible. You sit and watch these things that you sort of seen, and then all of a sudden it's just absolutely ruined. And then you're the complaining grown up middle aged man because
it's just running at the clouds.
because the thing that you grew up loving and invested your childhood and your pocket money it's like. It's not for you anymore, sort of thing. Piss off.
Yeah, like one of the things that I hated was the whole original Transformers Michael Bay movies. These were awful.
Yes.
For one reason, these Transformers had zero personalities. It wasn't about them. It was about the people in the movie. So it's like,
do you know why Megan Fox get fired from the films?
Why?
Because she did an interview and she compared Spielberg to working to be like working with Hitler.
That's great.
Yeah, how can you cancel
I love when someone speaks out their mind.
Yeah, but it's a bit of an awkward thing with Spielberg saying that his family are Holocaust victims, so it didn't go down too well.
I'm sure she's not actually like he's behaving.
No, she didn't mean it like that. You know, it's like back in the day when Gorilla Monsoon used to say, "He's just been Pearl Harbored." You know, you can't.
Yeah, we have the Pearl Harbor thing. Yes, I forgot about that. EVP Joe, your thoughts?
I was just going to say, speaking on Michael Bay, the fact that he ruined the Ninja Turtles, that's enough for me.
Yeah. I remember seeing a shirt in a thrift store. Michael Bay ruined my childhood. And there's an Autobot symbol crying.
South Park really tore into him, mocking him and stuff for that. They did a great job mocking him in the one episode.
All right, we got. Let's see what all made the list so far.
Okay, so far, Shane's list is electric cars, Dixie Carter, and ROH. Canada Dry's list is Chris Jericho's just AEW career, I guess. Tag teams.
Not even his AEW career, just his latest stuff.
Okay, so Chris Jericho, tag team members not properly breaking up pins, and Hollywood's lack of creativity. And my list so far is the U.S. political system, WWE not capitalizing on LA Knight, and Blackpool Combat Club not being in the tag tournament.
Hey, could I steal this right now?
I don't remember. I didn't write Haney's down.
What was yours, Haney?
Mine was
Booker T.
Booker T.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Hey, you know what? Can I put a pick out right now since we got Haney right now? Is that possible? Could I steal this take a spot
Oh, yeah,
right
you're
now.
first. Go ahead. Put out your
Only
first.
Yeah, you can go first. Yeah.
Young Buck haters. You guys
Oh.
just made the list.
Young Buck
Yeah.
haters.
You know, it's just it makes no sense why people got such a hate for them these days. Why? Because Jim Cornette says to hate them these days, or these people go into denial. They forget about Young Bucks in their ROH days and what they've done. Yeah, I know nobody wants to classify PWG because a lot of it was comedic wrestling, not for your average state of art fans. And then not only did people freaking are in denial about their runs in ROH, they're in denial about what they've done in New Japan. How many times they won the junior titles? How many pretty good screw what Dave Meltzer says. I'm not going off of his star ratings, but the fact that Young Bucks have put on absolute bangers in New Japan when they were light heavyweights, and then when they finally moved up to heavyweights, they proved it. Besides the fact they've been a huge selling
You'll be giving
T-shirt,
it
and
that,
that's where the haters come from too. Because the fact that these guys were one of the most profitable T-shirt movers before that term came in, before AEW, they were usually number one on the Pro WT list while they're still part of Bullet Club, and then they started the originally what they've done with their YouTube channel too over the years, and you can see it progress from episode one. Look, Young Buck haters, you just made the list.
You know what? You just made the list. Oh no.
Okay, real quick. Look, I know you did this because Alex is here, but we all know deep down because he's admitted it. Alex isn't a Young Bucks hater. He has admitted they don't deserve the hate that they get.
Okay, let's see what Alex has in rebuttal for this. What do you got, Alex?
So what was it? I mean, that was what was it? What was it? That was good that you could go into Hot Topic and get T-shirts to wipe your ass with. I mean, that was really.
I got a dressing drawer full of them right now.
You didn't wash them?
You know, what was it? Yeah, I mean, they can't sell. They've never wrestled a wrestling match in their life. But they've got no ring psychology. You know, they look like two idiots.
One of them's balding.
One is balding, and it's got nothing to do with Jim Cornette. It's just that they are the epitome of what's bad about modern day wrestling. Just absolute trash to watch. You know, I would rather watch Eva Marie wrestle than watch a Young Bucks match. Actually, I'd rather watch a 1 hour Iron Man Eva Marie.
All right. You had your rebuttal. Why don't you go ahead? No, I'm going to let you keep talking. Hold on. I'm going to let you keep talking. Why don't you go ahead and put something on your list, Allegheny?
Are you not going to say anything about the Bucks?
Nah, I'm good.
You're good. Yeah, you're sitting on the fence.
We got a limited time here, so go ahead and put your next thing on the list.
So the next thing I'm going to put on the list is wrestling fans with mobile phones at wrestling events. I absolutely despise. Like, what are you recording? You're on the television already, you know.
Yeah.
And you're recording this shitty quality footage. You know, it's like, oh my god! And then you turn around and take a selfie as if to say, "Oh, I got my picture took with such and such." No, you didn't. You turned round. You know, what was it? And they spend most of their time in the crowd with their hands on their phone, watching the wrestling match, typing away or taking pictures. Watch the damn wrestling. You know, we know most of it's crap now, but come on.
I'll definitely comment on this one. We have a number of people in the AFW chat that go to events, and they're at the event talking to us in the chat. So a lot of people are guilty of this.
You know what? I am guilty of it, but at the same time, I only do it briefly. Like, if it's an entrance, it's like, well, you're not really missing much of the action right now anyways, so why not? Because it's usually the spectacle. Say if you know an entrance got pyro like a Cody Rhodes or something, that's kind of cool to post on your like
How
if
many
you're on
times-
social media, some of those things are kind of cool to post for your friends to check out and stuff like that. But I agree, like if the person's literally glued the whole time taking video, yeah, you're taking away from your moment, and it's
Yeah, you're
your
spending
whole
this
body.
money to miss it.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can spin that out to pop culture. Like, I don't know how many times I've watched ESPN and seen some lady sitting courtside for a basketball game get slapped right in the face
Yeah.
with a basketball
Or
because she's staring
MLB.
at her phone.
MLB
Yeah.
games, and dad got to protect his kid because all of a sudden the kid's on his phone like that, and the foul ball's coming right for his face.
Mm-hmm.
Jim.
So
Jim
being
Cage-
on a phone at a wrestling event,
You know what? You just made the list. Oh, no. Oh, here we go.
all right.
Am I up next?
I think, you go
I
next.
cut you off.
Number
I
four,
cut,
right?
cut him off. Yeah, I did cut him off.
Okay.
This is number
So,
4.
Yes, my fourth item that's going on the list is Impact production value. It is god awful. I
Let
turned
me
Impact.
quickly just put it on there.
You know what? You just made the list. Oh, no. Oh, here we go.
So I turned Impact on for the first time in forever this past Thursday. And their tunnel, it's not even a tunnel. It's literally just a metal arch. Like, it is the worst. Like, their cameras, like the way they record the shows, it's very amateurish in my opinion.
I found the backstage promos really horrid to watch for years, where they try to go with that dark camera shots and stuff. You're absolutely right. That should be like the top of the list. It's horrible. It's brutal to watch.
I hate, but I mean, I mean, it's not just Impact. I hate most of North Americans' production. Maybe it was the WWE's too overproduced. You know, EEW. You know, what was it? The cameramen are for one. I mean, yeah, Vince McMahon might like some of the camera shots that they get in EEW. So maybe he started watching. You know, when the women are out in the ring. click. But what was it? Production in general with wrestling really puts me off. You know, what was it? I mean, can't really argue with you, Joe. There, I think you're on the money with Impact. It's probably the worst. What was it out there? You know, I've seen better production on indie show stuff. You know, which is nuts.
I've probably seen better production at my local high school musical.
Mid 2000 ROH is better production than what's going on, or even early 2000 ROH was better production than what's going on. Like,
Impact. I know it's not part of it, but I really hate those killing people off in Impact.
Yeah.
I think that's horrible.
Yeah, like that's the worst thing to do. You're killing off people in your story to where they can never come back.
Yeah, like
I guess,
and then they do.
I guess Bunny can never come back.
They'll find a way if they sign her. Like, we'll have some seance or something.
She comes out of the youth pool or something.
Yeah. What's the one for Batman? What's the one for Batman that Robin came back from? The
I can't remember.
The Lazarus Pit.
Yeah,
the Lazarus. That's it. Yeah, because I remember playing that parts in the video game or whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I'm gonna put the Money in the Bank concept on the list. To me, it is oversaturated. They're running out of people to put it on. They've got people cashing in on the Intercontinental and U.S. titles. It is bullshit at this point. I don't mind like maybe just taking a break every couple of years. And like making it a big thing where at WrestleMania once in like maybe every 4 years at WrestleMania do a Mr. Money in the Bank tournament. Not tournament, but just the match like they used to do for the ladder match. Like you don't need it every year. It's lost its specialness. It's now become the King of the Ring. It's equivalent to King of the Ring thing. So Mr. Money in the Bank.
You know what? You just made the list. Oh, no. Oh, here we
Yeah. Anyone's thoughts on this? Who wants to
I absolutely agree. It's got last year is where it went downhill with Austin Theory. That
I didn't
really,
longer than that, but
yeah. But no, I mean, yeah, longer than that. But it's really like at that point when you had Austin Theory trying to go for a mid card title, didn't he actually fail on the cash in attempt
Yep.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Failed against Seth Rollins.
Failed a mid card title belt on the Money in the Bank, and now you got Priest holding it on for Ian, and he's barely even attempted fake cash-ins. Like
and Otis losing his. Remember
Morgan,
Otis losing his?
War Games was the lost. Yeah, but I mean the Otis thing, I get it because it was during the stupid COVID times, so there was that too. Thunderdome crap and all that. Like, let's forget about those eras because, like, that was just bad for professional wrestling in general and almost anything that was live TV and sports in general.
All
Like,
right, really quickly, Alex, your
I don't
thoughts
think-
on this? I want to
don't
get
think
the
it's
show
over-
over in 10 minutes.
I don't think it's over. I don't think it's oversaturated. You've got. I mean, the landscape of WWE in the last year has changed. They brought in CM Punk. Drew and there.
We lost your comment there. It was broke up.
Hello.
is he calling from the back
Yeah,
cave?
go ahead.
Yeah, I've got. I've managed to pick up an Impact production mic. What was it called? So.
Oh, that's right.
But no, yeah, I was saying I sort of disagree. It's oversaturated. It's only once a year, but it really comes down to how you book it. And I think in the last couple of years, WWE's been unfortunate. I know a lot of people are not going to be happy with me saying this, but I still think the plan for the WWE and Roman Reigns is for Roman to beat Hogan's record, which will be around about summertime sometime. So,
Well, I hope not, because I'll owe Liam 2 shirts.
but what was it called? I think just circumstances have just messed up the booking of it for the men. The women's stuff's really went okay, but the concept itself is a bit old, But it could be worse. You could be like AEW, where you've got a big Sonic ring hanging from the ceiling.
Oh yeah, that Sonic ring, they killed that one off.
Yeah, I'm glad they have because that got stupid. That really pissed me off at one point because it was blatant rip off at that point.
Yeah. Now, if when you grab it, the Sonic music plays. That would be okay. If they just totally like played up on
Bunch of rings start dropping down from the ceiling.
That would be pretty awesome.
Like now that you mentioned, I kind of want them to incorporate the Sonic theme into Okada's music now with the Queen drop.
What do you think about the Money in the Bank, UV Joe?
I agree. I think it going away for a while would be good for it.
Yeah,
like at the least,
even if you did it again every year.
With doing like 1 year doing Money in the Bank, and then the next year, you know what? We're doing King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Just to switch it up, because like there's only so much you can do with the Money in the Bank. I thought it would have been really cool when Otis won it if him and Tucker actually would have cashed it on the tag titles.
That would have been cool.
That would have been something.
Yeah, but Tucker did come out and say some stuff that didn't go down too well with some folks, so they sort of had to put him away and then they released him. So
yeah.
So I know we don't like talking about politics, but
they made the list. All right, EV Joe, what's your last item?
So my last item is fans calling for WWE women's wrestlers to be fired because they went to go see Mercedes Moné in AEW. I think it's absolutely stupid. Like this tribalism, you can only like one company thing is for the birds.
Yeah.
Like
it's just no different than politics, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's mine. Like, just if you're out there calling for someone to lose their livelihood because on their free time they went to support a friend, you're the scum of the earth. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, Haney, really quickly, your thoughts?
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. It's the most moronic thing. A couple of friends going to support you. I don't know. What was it last year?
You're breaking up, Alex. We can't hear you.
Yeah. So sorry. Yeah, I agree. what was it? But there's another example of like fans doing that last year when Sheamus got married. Drew was one of his groomsmen, and he was. I don't know if you know the story, the sort of story around this whole Celtic Rangers thing. So in Scotland, it's a sort of like they're a bit of rivals. But Drew was wearing green tartan, which is Celtic, and he's a Rangers fan, and there was a lot of fans like really hitting him hard because he'd done that from his friend,
really?
And it's like I understand there's that rivalry between the two teams, but that he was doing something for his friend. It's absolutely appalling that people think they can come out and just criticize people for what was it, real life stuff. Yeah, have a bit of fun with the wrestling, but don't go hating on people for real. It's just deplorable.
I want to quickly respond to Caleb here. Caleb, why don't you make your avatar Knuckles?
Yeah.
Why don't you do it? We want to see Knuckles as your avatar.
And it's funny, nobody said nothing when Charlotte Flair was there for Ric Flair's last match, which was not a WWE pay-per-view. So these people are jerk-offs. How is it like you should be supporting? If anything, you celebrate people that are supporting their close friends and relative loved ones when they're on the.
All right, Shane. What's your last thing on the list?
Well, this one, Roman Reigns' whole title reigns. This makes the list. What 58 defenses out of this whole time right now? So he's got not only it makes Brock Lesnar's couple year reign with no lack of title defenses left absolute nothing. The thing, and now that not only they're trying to brag about how many days, it's you're missing an important stat when you got all these other guys like Brutal, even Hulk Hogan. I don't want to be praising him, but his long title reigns, Bob Backlund's, have all been 100+ title defenses. 58 in 4 years now? This title reign's been going on now. Stupid.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex. I know you're itching to comment on this.
Yes. Can I just say something to you, Shane? None of them are real champions. It was called the belt was called a gimmick for a reason. It's just a prop. It doesn't matter that he's not defending. It doesn't matter.
They're not real defenses, anyways. Good point.
What was it called? And it's not a new thing either. Hogan didn't defend. Hogan was one of the worst for defending his titles. You've seen a lot of stuff. Hogan didn't even make half the event back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember him. He no-showed Vancouver a number of times.
Oh, wait. I thought he worked 300 nights. He wrestled 300 times a year, according to him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I hate that whole thing. It doesn't mean anything to me. I know there's no disrespect to anybody that's a champion in wrestling, but it's not a real championship. They're not. Whatever the promotion does, it's how they've been booked. You shouldn't be hating on them for that reason. Hate on the company, don't hate on the wrestler.
EVP Joe, you got anything to say on this?
I agree. I know Alex has said a lot. Well, MJF has had the same amount of defenses in a year. Well, that is true, but MJF is at least on TV consistently.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how I see it. And I understand Alex and Canada Dry, you guys are old school. You come from a different way of things.
What are you talking about? I'm not even on this.
No, I'm just saying.
Throwing you under the bus here.
No, I'm just saying. Not throwing you under the bus. I'm just saying. So I don't know if you'll know. I was born in 1985. So to sit I didn't see Hogan's prime run with the title. I've known as really from 92, 93, where your champions were always around, always on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I don't care if Roman Reigns doesn't want to wrestle every week, but he should at least be on TV to be able to build things, to tell stories. Because he's fantastic at telling stories with his acting, his facial work, his everything he does. Because when he's not around, it's you almost don't need to watch SmackDown.
Hey, even Hogan's NWO reign, he might have not been wrestling every week, but he was still on camera bullshitting in the microphone every freaking week or every other week. So,
all right, we're short of time. Let's move along. What's your last thing, Alex?
So I'm going to do a strange pop culture thing. I want to put kids at Disney World on the list. I think they should be banned.
Wait, what?
Kids at Disney World. This is the saltiest thing I've ever heard.
That is pretty salty.
It's like oh, I want to go see Daisy and I want to see Donald. Listen, I've been around longer than you. You know, what was it? We're going to see Pluto. You know.
Could you imagine if Disney World did that? Sorry, the attractions we made for kids, no kids anymore.
No kids at Disneyland? Guess what?
You know what?
You
You just made the list. Oh no! Here we go.
I would support the idea of maybe no kids after a certain peak time, like no kids after 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and what?
Yeah, after 8 o'clock, it becomes adult themed.
Yeah.
Disneyland after dark.
Oh god. Mickey, Minnie, what are
Strippers
you
come
doing?
out. And
It's Disneyland after dark. It's like, Mickey, Minnie, what are you doing in the corner? Stop it.
Disneyland after dark. That would be something cool.
Okay, Canada Dry, what's your last item?
Wow. My last item kind of ties in with yours. Mine's wrestling tribalism altogether. It's so gross and
Pathetic.
it's shitting on what someone else likes just for the sake of shitting on it.
It's
Like
gone on for years.
if you don't like it, that's fine. If you don't like AEW, that's fine. If you don't like WWE, that's fine. You don't need to say anything. You enjoy your show. But for us here at All the Wrestling, we like all the effing wrestling. Some matches may not be the most entertaining, or some stories might not be that, but we're not like shitting on the whole brand. We gotta enjoy the whole thing. We criticize AEW, criticize WWE, but we're in the end we love all wrestling, and that's like tribalism. Guess what? You just made the list.
You know what? You just made the list. Oh no!
Sadly, people forget though. This has gone on even since the '90s. There was a total tribalism between WCW, ECW, and WWF. Like ECW fans, some of the true hardcore fans were like, "F those two," because they're not grimy and hardcore like we are and stuff like that. And then you had the WCW fans crapping on WWE because we had the NWO and we're classic Southern wrestling. And the WWE, like, oh, those two brands are lame. Like, tribalism in wrestling has gone
I
on
think
for years.
it's gotten bigger now because of
social media. Yeah,
We never had it in the UK like that because we had what was it? Obviously we didn't have wrestling on a Monday like you guys when it was live, but we had it on a Friday. So what was it, 8 o'clock? I mean, what was it, 8 o'clock Bravo was WCW Nitro. And I know it was 3 hours, but it was always 2 hours because they cut out all the ads and things like that, which was great. And then straight after that was Monday Night Raw. What was it? And then once Raw finished, you had to wait. You had to wait another. What was it? Sorry, it was TNT for WCW. And then after Raw, you had to wait 2 hours. And if you waited up to like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, you could see WCW on Bravo. So there was none of that tribalism over here until they sort of like.
Lucky you, Alex. Lucky you.
What are your thoughts, EVP Joe, on tribalism in wrestling?
Tribalism sucks. I hate it. Like what you like. There's a saying that I have, and I'm sure some of you have heard it, but don't yuck someone else's yum. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean someone else doesn't like it, and it doesn't mean it's not good.
Exactly. We're going through the same bullshit with politics, and we were mentioning it earlier. It sucks having these type of battles,
and have some fun with your fandom as well. But was it
sure.
Was it like having like jokes about the wrestlers you don't like? But don't go on Twitter or any social media and start wishing them ill or wishing they would get injured. That is just absolute appalling. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Kenny Omega, but some of the stuff that's been said about him on just line just now, just because he's away, and like people are like, "Oh, it's great, he's ill." Try and go through diverticulitis. You know, it's a horrible disease. You know, but it's totally scummy. And then you've got wrestlers doing it as well, like Disco Inferno going on about Perazzo and all that. She's too fat. What?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I mean, what's
he
all
needs
that
to
about?
just disappear for forever.
You know what? I think it's safe to say we can all agree. Disco Inferno,
Yeah,
you just made the list.
Yep.
yeah, that's a perfect final crown. Like,
You just made the list.
About time.
Here we go.
Yeah, Disco being on the list, I think, is a good one. But we've carried on for way too long. These shows are very popular, but they drag on.
They're fun, but
Yeah.
you know what? They're also cathartic. It allows you to
Yes,
just
cathartic.
unload.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel better.
Yeah.
About myself.
you know what? What's an extra half an hour anyways? You know,
Yeah.
sometimes when you got a good discussion going, it's not the X.
I never got to make my opinions are like arseholes, and I'm an arsehole, so
All right, guys. As we wind down here, we want to give thanks to FTW Wrestling.
Yep.
They're in Largo, Florida. Check them out. They're in the show notes. If you're looking to live a record school, who better than Natalia Markova and Brian Idol of the NWA to teach you how to wrestle? And also, if you haven't checked out the Kill City Cup yet, check it out. It's also in the link below. Kill City Cup. This thing is awesome. They're getting ready to make a new one. So check out Kill City Cup. Give it a like. Give it a subscribe. But we've been babbling on. But this has been a great show. I hope you liked it. Of course, head on over to Pro Wrestling Tees and buy yourself a shirt. The All
I
Effing
just
Wrestling.
bought the blue one of those.
Yeah. You what? There needs to be a blue one of these?
No, I bought the blue one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the blue shirt. Yeah, I bought the blue one. So
Nice.
I'll have it probably within 2 weeks. So
When did you buy it?
last night.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because of the sale, guys.
I'm excited to see the
Hey,
blue one because it's
There's a sale on Pro Wrestling Tees for St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, go on St. Patrick's. Go on Pro Wrestling Tees right now.
The code is Paddy PADDY 24. You'll get 20% off.
yeah, and get your All Effing Wrestling Show T-shirt or many other shirts. But I digress. Raise your fist in the air, and remember that life is hard. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and just keep fighting.
This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/effing wrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, effingwrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it.
What do you mean I just made the list?
yeah.